Hello, cinephiles. If you don't have time but love a good story, you've come to the right place. Let's get started without wasting any time. The film is set in the small town of Wengenberg, where a young girl named Jennifer, with a crooked face and a hideous hump, lives in a livestock family. Due to her ugly appearance, the girl is constantly ridiculed by the locals, and one day, while Jennifer is once again being ridiculed by two local young men, the girl accidentally opens a portal to the magical Laura visited Aruthasa, where she encountered young people, witch Istrid. The guy was worried about all the magic the magicians could use to find someone with even a little bit of magic in them. He decides to save the budding witch and opens a safe portal to take Jennifer home. Sometime later, a beautiful and rich girl went to the girl's father's farm to buy a pig. But when she saw the girl, she also expressed her desire to buy it, and the father did not hide his disgust. "For my daughter, I sold it for half the price of the animal despite the pleas of its mother, who recognized the woman as a witch." Thus, Jennifer finds herself in the magical school of the sorceress Tisea de Vries, where several girls are studying. At first, Jennifer has difficulty dealing with being away from home and her father's disdain. She even contemplated suicide, but when class started, she discovered that the young wizard was right. It was her accidental witchcraft that caused a stir and attracted the attention of the school principal, the witch Tisea. The girls who attend the school are also distinguished by similar unique skills. Soon after, Tisea held the first test. The girls must lift a stone and a flower without touching them and without using spells. Everyone was more or less able to complete the mission, but Jennifer failed. The stubborn girl tried again and again until Tisea stopped her. Frustrated, Jennifer ran away. She then found Istrid in the cave and told her. Sometime later, Tisea trained her students to recognize man's greatest fear. She puts the girls in pairs and orders them to Lohi folks, okay into each other's eyes until they join their rival projects. Jennifer joined forces to cheer the girl up, but she failed once again. Tisea is very angry. Jennifer is useless, and that's because she lied to herself. Even if she is beautiful, no one likes her. Jennifer has the only friend Istrid talks to about her studies. He also has trouble with everything. The boy offered to read her thoughts, and the girls succeeded. One night, Tisea awakens the girls in the middle of a storm and takes them to Tor Lara, a place with the most powerful magic on the continent, whose entrance is restricted to members of a brotherhood of wizards. Today there will be a test in the art of controlling turbulence, which requires catching lightning in a bottle. The girls did not believe in that possibility, and some were severely shocked, even after being struck by lightning. It was Jennifer's turn, and she reached out for the bottle, but it was thrown back against the wall. Enraged, she directed her power at her luckier opponent, Tisea, blocking her mental attack. She then scolded her apprentice, whom she almost killed today, meaning her emotions could destroy her emotions. Tisea cannot be sure that Jennifer will not follow your feelings and harm her school, because she will become a court witch, and the weak have no place near the ruler. The witch doubted whether she had anything in her that the witch chapter needed. Disappointed, Jennifer tells Istrid everything, but most of all, the witch knows everything about them, and they will not be able to meet again. The guy is ready to show him other magic, older and more powerful, but it is very dangerous. He shows her the skulls of the dead elves who built Aruthasa. They were the first magicians on the continent, and were the ones who built all the magical places, but humans came to the continent and massacred them. Istrid gave her a flower that could only grow where there was elderberry blood, and recited a spell that, by repeating it, the girl would open a portal. The witch is surprised as to how she was able to do it the first time, and Jennifer confesses that her biological father was a half-elf who died during the purge. It was her blood that made her ugly. The young man kisses Jennifer and confesses his love to her. She then showed the flower to Tisea. It turns out that his mission is to get the tree by applying fake emotions skills. Jennifer hopes to be raised. The witch promised that she would soon hear a knock on the door and know when the time was right. Meanwhile, Istrid also reported to her mentor, Stregobor, what he had learned about the girl. One night, Jennifer heard a knock on the neighbor's door and, taking the flower, set out in pursuit. She glanced as Tisea turned all four of them into eels. The witch knew the girl was there and ordered her to come out and push her former comrades into the water. Now they are conduits of Aruthusa's magic. Jennifer does this, and then sees many silhouettes of her old classmates in the water. Time passes. Jennifer experiences a love story with Istrid by applying what she has learned to enhance the effectiveness of intimacy. So one day she created a whole crowd to observe her intimacy, and then rewarded the lovers with applause. The boy was surprised by her imagination. What will she suggest next time? The day of the final rite is therefore approaching, after which they will control their own destiny. Yennefer dreams of graduating from Aretuza and returning to her homeland of Aetern as a powerful witch to show her longtime abusers and her father what she can achieve. Additionally, all Aretuza graduates perfect their skills before being sent to different kingdoms. All physical defects are eliminated, which also awaits Yennefer. The wizard in charge showed him his work, the perfect beauty of the graduates, and promised him an equally wonderful result. For his part, Tissaye taught him to look in the mirror and see what Yennefer was. She ordered the girl to close her eyes and imagine the most powerful woman in the world. Yennefer obeyed the order, but still could not see the promised beauty. Meanwhile, the wizards' chapter meets in Aretuza to decide where the graduates will go, since all kings need court wizards. Then it turns out that one of the council leaders, the wizard Stregobor, knows that Yennefer is a court elf, which means she won't be accepted in Aretuza, which is prejudiced with goblins. This chapter promises to send Yennefer to Nilfgaard, something the ambitious wizard does not like. She asked to see the program, but Tissaye claimed he was responsible for distribution. Yennefer is beside herself. She has no intention of wasting her life serving the king of a small southern kingdom and a lover of women. The tutor reminded her of the elven blood, and the girl understood how Stregobor knew about it. The initiation ceremony begins without Yennefer attending. Worried, Istrid found her behind a letter sent to her father, asking him to confirm that she was his biological daughter. The boy did not believe that this letter could convince the program, but the young girl simply did not know what to do. Even if Istrid refuted his claims of origin, no one would believe him anymore. The witch was frustrated because she didn't know why Stregobor needed this information, and she failed all her initiation spells. Istrid asked her to come with him because she was asked to become an adventurer. They could travel across the continent and explore the unknowable, but unexpectedly, the girl cruelly mocked his plans. She would not dig deep into the dust of the times, and these were her dreams, intentions, and opinions. As always, he did not even ask. Istrid is shocked to learn that Yennefer is not at all what he thought she was, and he expresses his opinion that she is angry that she missed her chance to find beauty. But a girl needs strength, and she doesn't have too much of it. Difficulty studying at magic school. For nothing. Yennefer runs to the witch responsible for perfection and asks to show off her art. Even the lack of a potion to ease the terrible pain that comes with the transformation process does not stop her. As the wizard begins the process, Yennefer asks for her eyes and the cut on her hand as a reminder of your former weakness, and the wizard informs her that every spell has a price. After being reborn, she will not be able to walk, but the girl accepts. To everything, even the gastric bypass required for a complete transformation. The magician recited the spell, and the girl screamed in terrible pain and tore the chain that tied her to the table. Her spine straightened, her entire body seemed to melt and change from one form to another. Finally, writhing in pain, Yennefer lost consciousness. Meanwhile, in Aretuza's main hall, the initiation ball continues. Suddenly, Tissaye saw an open door, and on it was an unusually beautiful girl with purple eyes. She realized Yennefer had disobeyed her orders and rushed to take her away. But it was too late. The ruler Adirn had already recognized the beauty. He invited her to a ball, where he expressed his desire to see her as a court witch of his kingdom. Tissaye had to retreat and just observe from afar the dance of the king and the witch. Made from Sapkowski's series, The Witcher is quite curious, attractive, and lively. The atmosphere of magic, the world of monsters and steel swords is conveyed quite well, so the adventures of the heroine will be even more interesting in the upcoming episodes.